Hello, Sun's Latest family. This is Sun's Latest. I am Rich Rubin, and we are here on a Tuesday, and the preseason starts Friday on the 3rd. We're going to get to that in just a few, but I do want to talk about the quote of the day, and the quote of the day is from the late, great Kobe Bryant. Quote, "I'm chasing perfection, and if I don't get it, I'm going to get this close," end quote. A lot of schools about who Kobe Bryant was, how he was, and if he was as good as when a great player passes away, there's a shift in perception and perspective about what he was as a player, and I'd like to keep it where Phil Jackson pointed out the difference between him and Mike. And Kobe and Mike were about as similar as it got. Kobe was the closest thing to Mike that I can think of at all, as far as everything he did. He copied some of his moves as well, and made it very clear. He always said, "This is the greatest player ever, and I want to be like that." Michael Jordan had to kick your ass. Michael Jordan didn't sleep. Michael Jordan didn't do anything but decide in his head that's like, no, I have to beat everybody. I don't lose. Even when I lose, I don't lose. You beat me, I'm going to come back and I'm going to beat you tenfold. It wasn't about perfection. It was about being him. And it never got past that. And he was never quoted talking about perfection or getting this right. It was just, I'm going to kick your ass. And that clearly just drove Michael Jordan. In one of Phil Jackson's books, talking about the comparison, he said, Kobe will kick your ass. Kobe's going to do all these things, but after the game is over, Kobe's going to go home and sleep and live his life and enjoy his time outside of basketball. And Mike didn't have anything else to do. Larry Bird had that as well. He just didn't talk about it very much. So Mike wasn't chasing perfection. Kobe was. And that is a big difference, because that's a different way of holding yourself accountable for the same thing when it came to basketball. But I always liked Kobe Bryant. I used to really hate him. And now, and this is before he passed, I got to a point where I kind of understood his arrogance and his cockiness and his seriousness. Whereas it didn't look like Kobe was really having a great time playing basketball. He was so serious. Mike, for the most part, looked like he was having a pretty good time. But watching them both live more than a few times, they had one thing that I noticed very much in common. They moved at their own pace. I watched Michael Jordan play live. It was nine of the greatest athletes / basketball players on the planet. But then there's that one guy, and he's doing something else. Kobe had that about him too. LeBron has that. When you see him play live, they just move differently. The legends move differently, and Kobe had that the way Mike did. Really interesting. Suns preseason starts this Friday, October 3rd, in Palm Desert, near Palm Springs, against the Lakers. I'm not going to go to this thing. The tickets are stupid. But the Suns kick off the regular season Wednesday, October 22nd. In Phoenix against the Kings. Hey, if you have a quote, a sports quote, some of you have been sending me stuff from Socrates and Michelangelo, which is cool if they relate to sports, and a good quote should. But in the spirit of competition, the spirit of basketball, if you could find quotes from guys who played, or coaches, or even college stuff, those are the kind of quotes I think we should be looking for. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, I want to talk about Nigel Hayes-Davis. I talk a lot about veteran presence and how important it is to have a very specific veteran presence on a team. The proven veterans provide balance and support and guidance, the kind of stuff that after a certain point, when players tune out the coach, good or bad coach, you just need to flesh things out and work things out with your teammates. And if there's a teammate that is in more of a mentor position, a little bit older, maybe you're more receptive to that if you're an up-and-coming young guy. I'm quite sure when Chris Paul was in Phoenix, Devin Booker listened to him probably more than anybody else, probably more than Monty. That's just an opinion, but I kind of got the vibe that those two eventually were communicating without talking, and that is kind of what you want on the court. Bill Walton and Larry Bird had that. Some, like LeBron, are still really effective players, even though they're much older, but, LeBron's a freak of nature. So the combo of a veteran presence and a really effective player in your starting lineup, it's really good for the team. Some vets like Al Horford, who the Warriors are still trying to get, are very effective in spots. Horford can give you 10 to 15 minutes of good defense and keep you honest with a good three-point shot. Mostly a calming locker room presence, or making sure one of the young guys who's pissed off about something doesn't get a technical. The Suns have 11-year veteran Devin Booker, who is also an all-star. So like LeBron, he's on the court. He's an effective older player, but it's kind of weird for us to talk about Booker as this older player. I mean, he's not even 29. But it has been 11 years in the NBA. He has some wisdom to impart. He leads more by example. I would like to see Booker get more vocal this year. Then there's 6'8", 224-pound forward Nigel Hayes-Davis. Enigma, anomaly. We still don't really know what we got. We know what he's done. We don't know what we have with him as a Phoenix Suns player. We're seeing glimpses in a couple of recent interviews. This guy is very much in here. He's not cut up in his head, but he is a thinker. He's accomplished everything and then some overseas. One of the few players to start out in the NBA, go overseas, and then come back before he really even hit a stride. So this is interesting. He's just an interesting player. He's an interesting person. Literally a superstar overseas. High basketball IQ. High IQ in general. If you wonder about how this guy operates and where his head is at, watch Media Day and watch a few interviews before that. He's different. He's wired differently. He can hit a three. 42% on threes last season in Turkey. Smart enough to not get caught in defensive switches. He relies on brains as much as ability. So he is a legit 3-and-D wing. He feels and moves like a power forward. He can shift to small forward. It's not natural for him though, but he can do it. Depending on how well starters Brooks and Dunn, maybe Royce O'Neal might be a starter. We don't know. Hayes Davis could see 15 to 20 minutes a game. He could see a lot more if he proves to be even 70% as good as he was overseas. My God, if he maintains his high three-point percentage, his floor spacing will be a huge benefit to Booker and Green. It'll free them up even more, even though Book has gotten really good at getting himself open. No one is guaranteed a spot in the front court, except maybe Dylan Brooks. He was really clutch in Europe. He'll be a mature locker room voice. If he can be a consistent 3-and-D guy on the court, then along with the wisdom, along with helping out the young guys, he will be an incredibly valuable guy. And it'd be kind of cool to see that happen because I'm not going to say the jury's out. I'm just going to say that there's no jury because we don't know what to expect from this guy. We know what we've seen. We don't know what we're really 100% getting. Not a ton of comments today, but we do have one from Hammer Don PHX. I really like that we have two guys that are going to be fired up every time when we play the Rockets. Definitely Jalen Green. And who are you talking about? Oh, they're Dylan Brooks. I don't think you have to fire up Dylan Brooks. I think if you are not his teammate, if you're his opponent, he's just fired up. I am really excited that we have Dylan Brooks on our team. We need some grit, and we need a guy that'll mix it up. And as I said in the last Suns latest, hate him if he's not on your team, love him if he's on your team. Brian C. Stratton, super excited about this new lineup. I think they will do much better than expected, but good to have little expectations for that drive. Young team, lots of super talent, excited. Thank you for the positivity. I think it's really important that we remember that this is a young team. This is a mishmash of a couple of second and third year guys, a couple of proven veterans, and an all-star in Devin Booker, and a brand new coach who's never been a head coach before. The only thing that we can do is practice patience and really try to enjoy the possibility of watching something special being built because we don't know what else we got, and that is all we got. And it's okay. We've been here before. Okay? So be patient as a Suns fan this year. All right, top 15 legend of the day. We're doing number 12, and this was, it's good and bad that we did the top 15 because you realize, oh my God, this guy's not even in the top 10, and he's accomplished all these things, and he's such a legendary Suns player, such a legendary NBA player. It was hard to put Shawn Marion at number 12. We've been through this. We've been through this before. But the Matrix is one of the best nicknames in NBA history, by the way, and so apropos for the player because Matrix is just all over the place. It's the wool that has been pulled over your eyes. And Shawn Marion absolutely dumbfounded guys trying to guard him because he could do freaking everything. And you can't say that about a lot of players. There's great two-way players. Marion could do more than most two-way players. Whatever you needed him to do, he could, and he could guard all 5 positions effectively. That's how special the Matrix was. A Sun from 99 to 2008, and I'm still pissed that we traded him for Shaq. We didn't need Shaq. We needed Marcin Gortat in his prime then. That would have been amazing. Can you imagine Stoudemire, Gortat, Marion, and Nash? I know Marcin Gortat was so freaking good. He was nothing, and then he gets Steve Nash feeding him. He's averaging double-figure rebounds, double-figure points, and you forget about him. You leave him because of Stoudemire and Marion. I always think about that. Underrated center. But we didn't need Shaq, and you don't trade a 3-and-D All-Star in his prime for an agent pain in the ass like Shaq, who thinks it's all about him. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA third team, NBA steals later in 06. This is gonna make me. This is giving me an aneurysm every time I think about it. 7 first place votes for Defensive Player of the Year, 4th in voting for Defensive Player of the Year, but didn't and never ever made an All-NBA defensive team. Excuse me, I think I have to sneeze. Nope. See, it's like this frustration manifests in other ways. It's like, okay, well, don't flip your lid, but maybe you'll sneeze. There is no excuse. There is no excuse for the powers that be in the NBA to make somebody 4th in NBA Defensive Player of the Year voting, which means he's the 4th best defensive player in the league, but he doesn't make the top 10 of guys who make the All-NBA defensive team. There's no math that makes sense of that. And it still pisses me off to this day. I'd put Shawn Marion as a top 25 defensive player of all time. Not just because of the stats, not just because of what I saw, but as I said, he could guard all 5 positions effectively. I saw him guard 7-foot centers. I saw him guard 6'2" speedy point guards. He can guard anybody. Part of the incredible 7 seconds or less Suns. Freak athlete. Ultimate teammate. Ultimate teammate. Did whatever he was asked. He could facilitate. He could get double-digit rebounds. He led the Suns in rebounding. One year, I think he got like 11 or 12 a game. Guard every position, could be relied on to take over scoring. He was clutch. There wasn't anything Shawn Marion couldn't do or wouldn't do for his team. Dick Van Arsdale, Alvin Adams, Walter Davis, Steve Nash, Chuck, Shawn Marion. Whatever the team needed. Selfless player. Correct me if I'm wrong, but were there any Suns fans that weren't absolutely ecstatic for Shawn Marion when he won a title with the Mavs in 2011? I was happy. I was so happy for him. And I love that he wasn't supposed to be a huge contributor. He was supposed to be an off-the-bench energy guy. Without his defense on LeBron during the finals that year, it might have been a tougher road for the Mavericks to win a title. And that had to do with the Matrix. Shawn Marion is your Suns legend of the day. The next legend of the day is going to be Jason Kidd. Yep, and he came in at 11. I just looked at it right now and I said, maybe I should have flopped those 2. All right, enough of that. Send in your comments. I appreciate you watching Suns Latest. Please still let me know how FanFest went. I'm sorry I didn't get to it today. Nobody said anything. Let me know how FanFest went. Preseason starts on Friday. This is Suns Latest. I'm Rich Rubin. We'll talk soon.